What's going on, y'all? It's another day in the RV life. I will tell you that you should mind your highs and your lows, and that talks about your great days and your not so great days. Today might be somewhere down here. First warning I will give you, when dealing with online banking and you're making a truck payment, the truck payment's going to be a big one. If you click submit on your payment and it errors out, don't do it again. You would think that this IT guy would have known better, but nope, I'm a knucklehead. It was last week. I wanted to take care of my payment for the truck. It's a pretty hefty payment. I went through, tried to pay the payment, didn't work. It errored out. Basically, it was my takeaway from the error on the website. It didn't go through. So I tried it again and again. I waited a few days, tried it again, and it succeeded without error. And then today, my main bank account let me know that I had no money left. The other bank, it's two separate banks, processed every one of those payments, all the ones with the errors on them. It claims they all went through and says I don't owe anything for quite a few months. The other bank doesn't see all those payments, but it was definitely in the negative. It's a bit of a stressful day. I will say, I called and spoke with people from the bank. They're all very willing to help. They're very understanding. They can see that obviously it was an error, and especially the person on the bank that the website error happened. Apparently, it wasn't just me. It happened to a lot of people. The problem is that they can resolve it, but nothing is as fast and easy, leaving us in about a 10-day limbo of being broke. Not the best situation, obviously. So that is a warning. The recommendation from that banker was, if you see this happen again, after one click, start to give them a call. Just to double check on things, or maybe let it set for a day. See what happens. Don't keep clicking. I definitely fell flat on my face on that one. Thankfully, we were able to make some moves around with some transfers of other things, so we're not completely empty-handed for the next 2 weeks. Things will get resolved, but it's still a headache. Definitely stressful, and I want y'all to avoid that pitfall. That's not what this overall video is going to be about, but I wanted to put that warning right up front to catch anybody that might ever make that mistake. Try to avoid that. So let's get to what the thumbnail is, the thumbnail and the title that you clicked on this video. What comes first, the chicken or the egg? Or in this case, what comes first, the truck or the RV? I felt that I needed to make this video sooner than later because we've got some friends that have followed into this similar situation, and they're not the only ones. It's happened to a lot of people. I want to make sure that people that are going to go into this lifestyle fully understand this. Getting a loan for an RV is more difficult than getting a loan for an automobile, which includes a truck. Now this can go two ways. If you're pulling a travel trailer or a fifth wheel with a truck, or you're buying a motorhome and pulling a car. Either way, they're both RVs, motorhomes and fifth wheels and travel trailers, they're all RVs. Getting the loan for those is more difficult. The credit requirements are more stringent. The weight of the RVs can have a huge factor in this. You want to get the RV loan secured first. And then you want to process the truck loan. That kind of breaks your brain a little bit to think about it, and this is where a lot of people follow down the wrong path. Their assumption is, I need the truck to leave the RV dealership or the third-party person's home with the RV. Yes, that's how logically you would get to that conclusion. I understand that. But two things, the credit and making sure you can get the RV loan, it's more difficult. So if you just go out and got a new truck loan first and then go to get an RV loan, banks are going to not be as happy to loan you money because you just got a new loan on a truck. Secondly, you don't know exactly what the weight's going to be on the RV that you're going to buy yet. In regards to knowing which RV that you want to get first, that is very important. There are various factors, from pin weight of a travel trailer or fifth wheel, the overall weight that you're pulling in a forward motion, that can all have an impact. Or if you're doing a motorhome, your motorhome is even going to have varying different levels of what it can tow. So in regards to the type of vehicle you would tow behind that can vary. You want to get your RV first and then get your automobile loan. Automobile loans are much easier to get. Banks are constantly writing loans for automobiles of all types, trucks and cars, Jeeps and whatever. It's very common for them, and they know that people need those. You need a vehicle, usually more than an RV, because the bank's not thinking about the whole, you're going to live in it as a home, and so they're going to be less willing to work with you on that RV loan because you don't really need an RV, right? That's their thought process. You don't need it. That's different than a mortgage. Now, mortgages are hard to get. That is true. There's a lot going into getting a mortgage. They also think about that better than an RV because they're like, well, this person needs a home, they need a car, but they don't necessarily need an RV. They make it a little bit more difficult to get the RV loan, just on par with like getting a boat loan. Chances are you probably don't need a boat, even though you would like to have one. The banks are going to look at that differently. There are a lot of factors that go into picking out these vehicles. I was shocked when it was time to get a bigger truck. Even our first truck, our Ram 1500, the amount of options that exist for trucks is far greater than cars. Cars are a lot simpler. They're like, do you want 4 doors? Do you want 2 doors? Do you want a hatchback or a trunk? You get the trucks and there's all kinds of factors, different transmissions, engines, rear axle ratios, length of beds, of course, how many doors they have. All these play into a factor. It all adds up to capabilities. What is the cargo carrying capacity of a truck? What is the towing capacity of a truck? And that towing capacity is more than just what it can pull in a forward motion. It's also what could this truck do to bring a heavy trailer to a complete stop as quickly as possible. Dual tires plays a big role in that. These dual tires add multiple factors here. The numbers can change very drastically between the different models. When I tell you these numbers, they're very estimated because it could change. Like, we've got the little window on the back, even things like this window that slides open, that could adjust the cargo carrying capacity of this truck by maybe 50 pounds. These numbers can vary based on those kinds of features that can be added. So by having more features and more luxury, this truck then decreases the amount of cargo carrying capacity. So that's why it's very specific to a VIN number. I know if you go with Ram for your truck, they have a website where you can take the VIN of a specific truck, put it in there, and it will tell you the cargo carrying capacity for that truck as well as the towing capacity of that truck. And those things are very important. The estimated numbers I'll give you, a Ram 3500 with single rear wheels, not dually, is about a 3,500 pound cargo capacity. A Ram dually then adds about 2,000 more to that. Like I said, this can still vary wildly. If you wind up getting one that doesn't have a back seat, it could probably go up another 1,000 pounds. Obviously, we need a family, so we need a back seat, and so we lose that weight. Out of those numbers, you have to calculate the weight of your driver and all your passengers and your dog and the drinks that they bring in, plus the spare drinks and the cooler along with the generator. All of this stuff is going into that 5,500-ish pounds of cargo capacity. And then you drop the trailer at about 2,000. I think we're about 2,200 pounds on the fifth wheel hitch. That's the pin weight. So that all goes into the cargo carrying capacity. Now, if I had a single rear wheel, it would greatly diminish what we could put in the vehicle, as well as the towing capability. The towing capability changes a bit, like I said, not just on what it can pull, but also on what it can stop. Having extra tires in your dually can actually increase the grab on the road as it tries to stop that RV. If you're wanting to go down this lifestyle, you're wanting to make a change, you don't even have to be going full time. Say you just want an RV for the weekends and for the long trips. I still recommend doing the RV first, then pursuing the truck. The banks will be more willing to talk to you and get you loans. Even the dealership, that finance guy at the dealership, he'll talk to 5 different banks trying to find you the best interest rates so you can get that truck loan, all after you've got the trailer. Most people that you talk to in trying to buy a trailer are going to be willing to work with you on that as well. I could see maybe a few strange circumstances where somebody's got it in storage and they don't want to pay rent on storage anymore and they want it out by this Saturday. That could be a pressing concern. But in most cases, people would probably be willing to hold on to it for a few more days while you go get the truck that you need and get the hitch and all those things that you're going to need in order to pull that trailer. The same with the dealership. You look at a dealership, they've probably got 30 to 40 RVs for sale out front. They probably have 70 to 80 RVs out back that are there for various reasons, including service and warranties. They can hold that trailer for you for a while, not too long, but they can hold it for you while you go get a truck. Now watch out though, because these dealerships oftentimes, they'll sell you a trailer no matter what. They're not gonna look out for you in regards to getting the right truck. You pull in there with a 1994 Mustang convertible that actually has a little tiny tow hitch on the back, they'll sell you a toy hauler. They don't care. All they want to do is make the sale. Yes, there are some dealerships that are better than others, that's for sure. Josh, the RV nerd, who works for Bish's RV and makes great YouTube videos, goes into great lengths. I have faith and trust in the dealerships that he's worked for because they care, but that's not everybody. It's better to assume that the dealership doesn't care so that you can take care of business in the appropriate order. So when it's time to buy those RV and the truck, get the RV first, then go get you a truck. And make sure you pay attention to the numbers. Use websites like the Ram website where you can put in the VIN, or Ford has specific worksheets that can actually show you all the details based on the year, the model number, F350, F250. You may have to go into details of what the rear axle ratio is rated at. Make sure you know all this stuff beforehand. If you don't, the problems can be great. If you are pulling 2,000 pounds more than what your truck is rated for, you are at a greater risk for destroying your rear axle, your transmission, your diesel engine or gas engine, based on what you buy. You don't want to have any of those problems. Even with the motorhome, could be the same thing. You buy a motorhome and assume you can pull a 4-door Jeep behind it, but you bought one that just didn't quite have the towing capacity you were hoping for. Make sure you know those numbers before you sign the dotted line. This was not the best and happiest of days, but it seems like information that needs to be shared with y'all. I've always said this, don't just take my word for it, do more research. Watch other YouTube videos. Go out and Google this kind of information and see what else you can learn. I hope that it helped. And I hope that it puts you down the path to find the right information that you need so that you can have a better experience with RVing. Whether it's weekending or full-timing, that doesn't matter. I want you to have the best RV experience that you can have. And also remember, when you're doing online banking, don't keep hitting the submit button. Might be a lot of ramen and beans we have to eat over the next few weeks. Remember, life happens. Even errors on banking websites. Don't let it stop you. Stay fresh, cheese bags.